Right, Duncan, the usual pre-league season question. What are your hopes and aims in League One this season?
Well, to win the next game. That's it. That's what the simple answer is. We've got no idea how the season's going to pan out. We'll work as hard as we possibly can to get results for the club and for the fans. And hopefully that starts on Saturday.
I know things are not altogether certain, but at the end, would you be looking at promotion? Would you be looking at survival, or what?
We're just looking to win games, and that's it. What will be will be. We'll try our very best to accumulate as many points as we can.
And in terms of Dumbarton, this is the team that's just come down with the team that's just come up. Interesting confrontation, perhaps.
Yes, they went up through the playoffs, didn't they? So, as we know, it's the opening game of the season, so we don't know quite what to expect. But hopefully we'll be at our best.
Yes, always the same when you're in a different division. There's a lot of unknowns, presumably in the first phase of games.
That's right. So we'll find out on Saturday. I think there might go a back four. We're not quite sure, and then we'll take it from there.
Since we last spoke, there have been one or two developments, particularly as a new prospective majority shareholder. Has that created any more stability or certainty just in the vibe about the place?
Yes, I think it's created a bit of stability, hasn't it? Obviously getting a new owner in is good for the club. And there's certainly a bit of positivity there and stability. And I'm sure the club will go from strength to strength.
How much of a challenge, Duncan, does coming into a new league against teams that you won't be as familiar with pose for you this season?
Yeah, it can be a challenge, can't it? We just don't know how the other teams have been playing or what the formations are going to be or the personnel, really. We've not got really any facilities for footage and scouting, etc. But I'm sure as the round the games go on, we can start to get eyes on them.
Probably isn't as much footage readily available for this level anyway. How important is your assistant and coaches and everybody else around you to give you some sort of insight?
Yes, if they've got any contacts or any information on clubs and players, it's always important, isn't it, to reach out to people.
Last year, Duncan, I think was from mid-July until when at Arbroath the team didn't register a win, so it was a difficult period, but momentum can work the other way. If you can get off to a winning start, hopefully that positivity can feed through to match day 2.
Well, that's it. It's so important, isn't it? We're at home, and we've got the home advantage. We've got our fans behind us. I'm sure we'll put in a very good performance, and hopefully that it gets us a win. You never know in football, do you? Every game's a tough game. There'll be no different on Saturday, but we'll try our very best to try and get a positive result.
You can't really gauge the Dundee game because of the level of opposition, but your 2 League One opponents are a better gauge as to where you stand, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a tough one against Dundee, as we know. They're a Premier League team. They've got a good budget and a lot of good players. It was, as you said, against the teams in our division, we were quite close to them, weren't we?
And just in terms of the Nico Ujder money last week, does that give you hope? Do you think that you can bring a face or two in, maybe?
It does, yeah. We're working on a couple of deals at the moment. Hopefully they'll get done as soon as possible. I'm waiting to hear. It might be before the weekend, I'm hoping. We'll see how the club progresses with that.
Do you mind me asking, is Adam McKinnon one of the guys you're looking at?
He's one of them. He's been in training. We like him, and obviously we're trying to get that deal done if we can get it done. But again, it's down to the club then how quickly we move, really.
He's a guy that Ross County always had really high hopes for and probably didn't do too much wrong, but he never got his chance there.
Yeah, he's done well, isn't he? He's done well for me. He's a local guy type of thing, Highlander, isn't he? So he's in the local area, so that's part of your remit, isn't it, for recruitment. So certainly one we're interested in. We're in the process of making him that offer just now, and we're hoping we get it done before the weekend.
Are you looking for some indication at this point, or have you had any indication at this point that you have got a bit more leeway to strengthen the squad?
No, we've had no indication. I think I said maybe a month ago now, if I got one player out, I would be able to free up their funds.
Just purely on that one.
And at the moment, what I'm hearing, the funds are available to to get me a player in.
Aye.
And the club are in the moment in the process of trying to bring a player in, at least a player for the weekend, and let's wait and see if that happens.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, I think Wallace Duffy's been training. Is he an option that you could say? Or?
Yeah, it's certainly an option.
Aye.
Again, he's in the area. He lives locally. He's got an apartment here, so it's obviously it suits us as well. And he's a good player. We know what what we're getting. But at the moment, there's no funds at the moment to bringing in another player.
Yeah.
So the priority one at the moment is Adam.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying, Duncan, you can tell me if I'm not, that you're allowed to play trialists in the league. Is that an avenue you could go down, at least as a stopgap until something?
Yeah, it's one we're looking at, certainly for the goalkeeping position. Obviously, we brought a goalkeeper in, didn't we? We had to bring a goalkeeper in because the other goalkeeper was a 15-year-old schoolboy. So we didn't. He's not really ready to put him into that. It'd be unfair on him. So we brought a goalkeeper in. And now we've got another goalkeeper in at the moment who's been on trial, and we're finding out to see if he's going to be able to go on the bench as a trialist to give his cover, because I think it's a bit unfair on a 15, 16-year-old to go on the bench, and you know what's going to happen, don't you? If you go into the game with a young kid who we like him, I think we think he's got a big future, but he's got to develop. So we're going to try and get a trialist goalkeeper on the bench if we can.
There's been a lot of talk about how young your squad could be this season. How much of a boost would it be if you could bring in even just one or two new faces?
I think it's paramount, isn't it? I think we've got such a young team. I think, as I said to you, it was average age of 19 last week, which they did very, very well. You know, we need a bit of experience, don't we? We need to win games at football, and and that falls down to me. It all piles up at my door, doesn't it? And I've got to go out there and I've got to stand on the touchline and rally the troops. We really like the young players. We think they've got big futures, but of course they need a bit of help, don't they?
You say it falls at your door. Do you feel a pressure right now to deliver results?
I think there's always pressure, isn't there, and to deliver results. I think every manager up and down the country, doesn't matter if it's a pre-season game or a cup game or whatever you're involved in, you're always under scrutiny to win games at football. I'm no different from any other manager, and hopefully that starts on Saturday.